Do you find yourself experiencing the same challenges over and over again and not producing the results that you want? By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to identify and overcome your limiting beliefs. So be sure and stay to the end of the video, as I'll be sharing my exact strategy I use to help my clients alter their beliefs. Hey everybody, it's Michael A. Benton here, your certified life coach, helping men take control of their lives and achieve their desires. Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a video every Tuesday. You know, one of my clients dealt with limiting beliefs for a very long time, and it actually frustrated him to the point that he became depressed and he stopped pursuing the life that he wanted. And with a little help as far as changing his mindset and altering his beliefs, he's now doing more with his life than he's ever done. And now I'm going to show you how you can do the same. Okay, so before we dig into altering your beliefs, we first need to understand where your beliefs come from. So from the age from 0 to 7, this is when you're starting to learn the beliefs that are being taught by your parents and your teachers and your family members and just your external sources. And the more that you experience these beliefs, you start to consume them as your own. And the beliefs that you're learning about, they touch on every aspect of our lives, from money to relationships to faith to parenting to emotions and feelings and just the whole gamut. And so you probably ask, well, how do they become limiting beliefs? And they become limiting beliefs when these beliefs stop you from having the results that you'd like in a certain area of your life. So let's dig into some examples, right? So let's say that you witness your parents have altercations pretty regularly in regards to finances and money. And you notice that your parents were very frugal, and your parents worked really hard for the money that they earned, and they put everything that they had away, and everything was they bought very minimum items. And so as you see that, you start to take on this belief that money is scarce, and you start having this scarcity mindset where now as you continue on in life stages of your own, you're saving every penny and you're watching what you're buying, and money to you is very hard to come by. So everything that you do earn and get, you're gonna put it away, and you just have that scarcity mindset. And so that can be a limiting belief when it comes to money and finances and how you approach purchasing things and stuff like that. So another example could be faith. Let's say that your parents regularly took you to church, and the pastor always asked for tithe, and then so you're seeing people giving up $20 here, $10 here, whatever it is, but then you see the pastor rolling up in maybe a new Mercedes, and maybe the church that you're in isn't in the greatest of shape. You then start to take on this belief that pastors are crooked, right? And that they only take for your money, and that they don't make any improvements to the building, or that money doesn't go anywhere where you think it should. And so now you have that belief that all pastors are this way, and maybe that stops you from attending church. So now you can see how that belief alters your reality, and now you are changing what you believe as far as your faith. And you can also have these limiting beliefs in regards to relationships. Maybe growing up, you've seen your mom, she was always on her hands and knees cleaning all the time and picking up after your father, and she always had dinner made when he came home, and she cracked open a beer for him, she rubbed his back. She was pretty much just kind of catering to him. And so you take on this belief as you get older that that's what women are supposed to do, right? They're supposed to cater to their men. So when you get home, meals should be ready, that is their job, to cook and clean and all of that. So again, you can kind of see how these beliefs then start to alter your reality. And those are just a few examples of how limiting beliefs can affect certain areas of your life. And I'm going to show you some ways in which you can start to alter your limiting beliefs. Comment below and tell me, what is a limiting belief that you struggle with? So how do you change this? So one of the ways that you can change it is by creating alternatives to your limiting beliefs. So first, I would say, is write down all of your limiting beliefs in every aspect of your life. Then what you want to do is you want to create 2 positive incantations for every limiting belief that you have. And that way, when these limiting beliefs surface again and you start to think of them in your mind, You then want to start to say out loud your 2 positive incantations of that limiting belief. So I'll give you some examples. So let's say that your limiting belief is that you will never own a business. So one alternative might be, I'm confident in my abilities to achieve my desires. Okay, that's one alternative to your limiting belief. And let's say that your second one is, I have what it takes to own my own business and thrive at it. So you see how those 2 alternatives change the narrative in what you believe, right? Now, this isn't going to happen overnight, right? So it's not going to be like where you have a thought of your limiting belief, you say your 2 positive incantations and then boom, you move on. I mean, this is going to take some time for you to really believe that you're capable of doing these things. Because if you don't, it's not going to work. It's not going to happen for you. You're still going to have that limiting belief. So you do have to believe in it and what you say. Again, so immediately, as soon as you're having those limiting beliefs come up, immediately start to address them by saying your positive incantations out loud and repeating those to yourself. And that's just one way of getting you out of that way of thinking that you've been thinking for so long. And you got to remember that you're wired to resist change until the pain of not changing becomes greater than changing, right? So in simpler terms, it means that if your pain isn't enough for you to change, or you don't really feel sick and tired in your stomach, or you feel some type of emotion or feeling when you think of your limiting beliefs, then you're never going to change them. You really have to have some type of emotion towards that. It really has to cause you discomfort and pain in order for you to forget about how it makes you feel, but the consequence itself of not changing is worse, right? I'd rather do what needs to be done and feel that pain than to continue on, thinking the way I've been thinking about a certain thing, right? So really, it has to invoke feeling within you. And when that feeling is invoked, that's when you'll make change. Which leads me to the strategy that I use with my clients to help them, alter their beliefs. And essentially what it is gaining leverage over your beliefs that create pain and unpleasantness, so that you would much rather want to give up the thought than to deal with the consequences. So for example, let's say that I have a belief that I cannot stop eating cookies. Like, I really love cookies, and actually I do love cookies. But let's just say I had a belief that I couldn't give it up. One way that I can gain leverage over that belief is by saying that if I don't stop eating cookies, this could affect my health. Now keep in mind that whatever your leverage is that you're utilizing, it has to be real, right? So if you have a belief that deals with your health, as far as maybe eating cookies or not working out as much, and you're actually going to the doctors and the doctors are telling you, listen, if you don't run more, this could affect this, and this, then that would be your, gaining leverage. But make sure that it's real, so it can't be something that's not actually going to happen because you're just trying to trick your mind. And once you created your leverage, then you got to take action on it, right? Because without action, there is no results. So in the scenario, like I said, if you have a belief about eating cookies, then, and you tell yourself, and your leverage is that if you don't stop eating cookies, this is going to damage your health. Take action on that. If you eat 10 cookies a day, drop down to 5 cookies a day, 3 cookies a day, and start to implement that, and make sure that you're working out every day, or you're running every day, or you're eating, maybe you tell yourself, hey, if I'm going to eat 5 cookies a day, then I have to have at least 3 healthy things, 3 apples or 2 bananas or 1 apple or whatever it is, right? So you have an alternative. And it's going to be scary because this is something new for you. Like I said, you've been living with these beliefs for probably quite some time. And the only way, again, that you're going to overcome these is by taking action, by creating, leverage on the alternative, and creating positive incantations to your limiting beliefs. So now that you know how to identify and overcome your limiting beliefs, but what if you're still getting in your own way and not producing the results that you want? Head over to my website, which you will find in the description below, and schedule your free discovery call. And on this call, this is where we can identify what else may be holding you back from creating the results that you want. Check out these next videos to continue building on your mindset. And as always, if you like this video, hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe and share it with your friends. And until next time, we'll see you again.